Hi team, Uwe Jacobs, property strategist from Property Friends. I welcome you. Just wanted to give you a bit of an insight into the NDIS SDA property investments. There's a heck of a lot of spruiking, marketing hype, and what I call half-truths out there. It is quite incredible to me the amount of misinformation that's going on. So I felt it necessary to clear the stories up that are being told and to alert you as a property investor as to what's going on out there, and in my case and in my view of how to do a NDIS SDA property investment properly, which can be, if done properly, a very lucrative and rewarding property investment. Not only lucrative in regards to returns, but heck, I don't mind admitting that I can call it corporate responsibility. I'd rather like to think of it as helping people that may have a bit of a hard luck in life. So, having said that, let's myth bust a few things. And I'm going to go straight into it. As you know me, straight down the line, I say it as it is. I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, but yeah, I'm just going to give it to you as it is. By the way, if you've got any questions, ask away. I can see your comments on Facebook. As long as you put the comments there or the questions there, I'm happy to answer any questions. All right, straight into it. Build it and they will come is what is the most spruiked or told story out there. That is just nonsense. Now, why do I say that? Well, I say that for one simple reason. And the simple reason is that's where we started as well. I thought I built these SDAs in most magnificent locations. We've done 2 at the harbour front in Hobart. We've done 3 smack bang in the middle of the golf course, the best golf course in Townsville. And build it and they will come does not work. It's as simple as that. So did you know that there is between a 25 and a 30% vacancy of rooms in the SDA sector? That is quite incredible and is not being talked about. And I get quite perturbed by even the SDA, the NDIS saying, oh, build more properties, we need properties. Well, that's simply not the truth. Or they're not being filled properly is more to the point. Now, there's a number of reasons why they're not being filled and occupied properly and to the extent that they can be. Too many reasons to go into here. We've got a webinar coming up. I will give you the full story there. So just to let you know. So yeah, 25 to 30% vacancy. How would you like to be sitting on an $800,000 to $850,000 property investment that is purpose built? No tenant, no purpose, no good is what I say. So make sure that you have the tenant, the participant lined up for your property investment, because we're talking about a lot of money here. That is hugely important. And people that promise you tenants, companies that promise you tenants, check them out properly. I can talk till the cows come home, but I need to be able to prove it. We have the anchor tenant under a lease contract before we start the build. That's the only way that I can think of to mitigate at least the overhead risk, at least the risk of having the cost covered for the property. So that's a really important point. Be aware of the vacancy and make sure that whoever you go with, none of my business, has participants, tenants lined up. Okay. One of the reasons why there is such a high vacancy is you need to have a person-centered focus. What do I mean by that? I mean by that the design needs to be fitting and really well be working for your occupant. Now, there are different classifications. There are essentially 4 classifications. You better get that design right, or the provider, the builder, whoever you contract better gets that design right, because if you don't get it right the first time, there is no second time. So what that means is, for a fully accessible or high physical support dwelling, the bedroom needs to have, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just going to give you my opinion, needs to have a ensuite that can be directly accessed from the room, where the hoist in the high physical support arena can go all the way from the bed to the toilet to the shower. Don't build a halfway house. It don't work, right? Person-centered focus also means that we need to have the contacts in the industry. There are only 3 ways you can get a participant, a tenant to rent your rooms. I'll cover more on that on the webinar. I don't want to make this too long. So do join us on Thursday the 22nd at 7 p.m. or Saturday the 24th at 10:30 a.m. So it is really, really important to have the right contacts. With the first 5 that we built, we thought that putting these SDAs into stunning locations would fill them. Nothing would be further from the truth. If you don't have the right location, close to the facilities, close to their services, you ain't gonna rent it. You ain't gonna have an income. And that hurts big time. Anyway, I am not going to spend too much time on this. Spend the money to do it properly. There needs to be, and this is all stuff that we've learned over the last 4 years, there needs to be the proper facilities for the provider and the participant. Of course, first place for the participant. So a sprinkler system, as far as I'm concerned, is out of the question. It just needs to be there. I don't want to be the provider that comes up in the newspaper as having been the company that had an incident where a house burned down and people got killed. I'm just not going to go there. The comparative cost to install a sprinkler system is made up, yes, it does take time, is made up by the additional compensation in the SDA return. So please check the design and make sure that that is all there. Now, I said that we as an SDA provider are just not going to compromise anymore on that. Let me say something about that. I did not want to be an SDA provider, but there's so many shenanigans going on out there, and I wanted to make sure that the quality of the deals that we are doing is matched by the same provider service. Again, be careful who you go with. There are absolute horror stories out there that are true of marketing companies having flogged properties to unsuspecting investors with no tenants. That's a big ouch. A big ouch. That is an investment that most people cannot recover from. A mistake like that, $850,000 with no income on a mortgage, that ain't pretty. So be careful out there, please. So we've become very reluctantly a provider. The initial license and approval was $25,000. The manual is that thick. I wanted that like I needed another hole in my head. But as I said, we wanted to make sure that the outcome is good all the way through. So make sure that you have a quality outcome and secure your investment by having the right provider, the right SDA provider. So check out not only who is going to sell you the property, but also who is going to run the property, because you need to be specifically licensed. And by the way, the $25K that we paid for the initial license and approval, we have an 18-month audit coming up. There's another $7,500 gone. So this stuff is not cheap. And that raises another point. There's a lot of spruiking going on there, a lot of marketing hype out there on the humongous returns that you can get. Yes, in theory, and that's it, in theory, you can get 20% or $235,000 income available. That's just BS. There are a lot of costs involved in running an SDA. You better check out what these costs are so that you are certain what the end result is for yourself. And whilst I'm on that subject, there are different compensation models, income models for the investor. Personally, I don't believe in, we'll give you $30,000 a year in passive income. That doesn't work for me. Because as an investor that puts up the money, I want to have all the return, minus, of course, the running cost. And the SDA provision is part of the running cost. Anyway, I am rabbiting on. So there are lots of hidden traps. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. My suggestion is get the facts, get the details, make sure that you're informed, and I'll see you at the webinars that we're holding on Thursday, the 22nd of the 9th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, the 24th at 10:30. The link will be underneath the live, and you can also go to our Facebook or LinkedIn site on the website. We have it as well. Just register, get the information, make sure that you're informed. or pay the price. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Have a good one. Bye-bye.